Welcome to our next tutorial in GIMP. We'll go over more tools that have been used in GIMP to create different effects in your image. The tools we'll go over for this part of our tutorial will include the clone tool, the healing tool, the perspective clone tool, the blur and sharpen tool, the smudge tool, and the dodge and burn tool. Starting out with the clone tool, if you go to our image that you see here, it will not let you do anything with the brush until you hold down Control, click a source on the image, and then it'll use that source when you decide to paint on your image, thus duplicating the image as you paint over it. The next tool, the healing tool, allows you to heal parts of the image much like in Photoshop when you want to fix parts of your image that have blemishes on them or other various problems. Much like the clone tool, you have to set a part of the image that you would like to use as the basis for healing the rest of the image. And as we start moving through our image, it'll try to heal the image based on what's around it, as opposed to the previous clone part where it just copied whatever it was using the source as. For the perspective clone tool, we can modify the perspective of our image, not in a permanent way, but in a way that GIMP will use when we decide to clone the rest of the image later. By going to the perspective clone option in the tool options, we can now set a source that we'd like to clone from, say this corner up here where the perspective will be changed, and we can paint that into our image. And as you can see, the perspective of the image in the upper left is now in our bottom right at a very different perspective. The next tool, blur and sharpen tool, we can set to blur. And then on our image, we can start blurring out parts of the image as we need to. And then if you set that to sharpen, you can sharpen parts of the image as you need to. You can turn up the rate on this to increase the sharpen amount, so that way you do not have to sharpen more than once on an image. If you go to the smudge tool, this will use the colors around it and smudge them together so they become more of a blur with all the colors that are included when you start smudging. The next tool, the dodge and burn tool, allows you to dodge, which is lighten up the colors in an image, but also do burn, which allows you to darken the colors in the image, creating more vibrant color as necessary. And those are some of the more advanced tools you will use in GIMP.